What's going on, you guys? It's your boy Evan, and you know moves up to no good. So as you guys can tell, spring is here. We finally have the Jeep SRT8 outside today. We're going to go ahead and we're going to change the oil. We're going to change the insulation underneath the hood because it's falling apart, and we're going to change also the bracket on the left hand side, I believe. For the front bumper, it's a bit bent, so we got a lot of work to do. I may wash it today, I'm not sure, but we have a lot of work to do, so let's get to work. What's going on, you guys? So we're in front of the Jeep right now, so go ahead and explain to you guys what these two bottles are. So as you guys can tell, we have the AMALIE 0W40 for synthetic motor oil. This brand I've never used before, so this will be my first time using this brand for the SRT8 oil change. I do normally run Mobile 1 full synthetic 0W40, but I found a good deal on Amazon, 80 bucks for 12 quarts. I usually buy 2 quarts, meaning it's 5 quarts and 5 quarts, which comes out to 10 quarts. So 2 bottles, 2 big bottles of 5 quarts for the SRT8. It's over there in the back. You guys will not see it, but it's over there in the back. But we're gonna go ahead and try the 0W40 full synthetic motor oil. Real quick, I just want to mention my Jeep SRT8 is basically stock. It's not a built motor. I know many of you guys who run and build motors, build applications. Your engine builder may recommend you guys run a thicker oil, and you guys may want to follow his directions or her directions to make sure that your motor is running efficiently. For the majority of us humans, we're going to probably be sticking to the recommended oil that the manufacturer recommends. So if your car takes 5W30, run 5W30. If it takes 5W20, use 5W20. If it takes 10W30, use 10W30. My application, it recommends 0W40, and I'm going to stick with it because I know that this oil is what works best with this motor and allows for the oil to flow efficiently into all the parts inside of the motor. So we're going to go ahead and stick with 0W40. So this is AMALIE full synthetic. I've never tried this before, so we're going to try it for the first time. And now for the oil treatment, I'm going to give this a try. I know you can get the Liquid Moly oil, and it comes with this additive, but because I got a good deal and this bottle was relatively cheap, I was able to buy them separately. So we have the oil treatment, and what this oil treatment does is it basically provides a thin wall or a thin barrier between the piston all around and the wall of the piston. So it provides less of friction and contact between the two metals as they move up and down within the cylinder walls. So there's less friction with the piston making contact with the inside of the cylinder wall. So we're going to go ahead and, or the piston wall, whatever you want to call it. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to add this oil additive in, and then we got to change the hood insulation because I don't know if you guys can tell, but it's falling apart. So we're going to go ahead and change that, and then we're going to change also the bracket underneath the front bumper. It's not really bent, but it's bent in the location where the bolt goes through. So when we get there, I'll show you guys everything. So for now, we're going to go ahead and we're going to jack it up. We're going to drain the oil. After that, we're going to fill it back up, and then throw in a new insulation hood, and then finally do the bumper bracket. So there you go, guys. Let's get to work. What's going on, you guys? So it's the next day. As you guys saw yesterday night, we couldn't finish. Well, actually I did finish, but it was kind of late, so I couldn't show you guys. So today's a brand new day. We still got some stuff to button up, so let me show you what happened yesterday night, and then show you something else I've got in the mail from eBay that we need to fix, because we have a error code for the service assist system, which is basically for the sensors in the back when you back up the vehicle. So let me show you guys what we did so far. So let's get to it. What's going on, you guys? So as you guys can tell, we got the new hood installation in. Yesterday night I actually had to drill the holes a little bit wider, so I can allow for the new rivets to go in, because I couldn't use the old ones. The old ones broke, so we got new rivets in. So I drilled the holes just a little bit wider to accommodate for the new rivets that I have in the garage. I have a case of different size rivets. The small ones didn't fit, so I had to open them up a little bit, but we got the new hood installation in. Because the other one was falling apart. If you grabbed it in different areas, you would see dust coming out of it, and then it was peeling apart. So pretty much this is how it looks. Now the hood installation in, and it looks brand new. You can tell there's new rivets and whatnot. So we changed the oil. We also dumped the oil from the catch can. The catch can had maybe half in it, no, not half, maybe a quarter in it. So we had a quarter left of, a quarter amount of oil in the catch can. We also cleaned the filter. We cleaned the box inside. We just used some compressed air. So we used compressed air. The filter was kind of dry. There wasn't really much on it. Like my Jaguar, for example, the filter would get a ton of dirt. This one didn't have a ton of dirt, even though it's a dry filter. So we cleaned the air box out, changed the oil, put a brand new filter in it, and we also put in the motor oil additive treatment from Liquid Moly. Put in 0W40 AMALIE full synthetic motor oil, and we put the brackets underneath. The brackets are going to be kind of hard to show you guys, but we put in new brackets underneath. So one was the original one, the other one is the brand new one. So just spray painted them, put them on, tighten everything down. So that's pretty much done. So we did a ton of work yesterday night. So that is pretty much what we did so far. The next thing I have to do is fix that thing in the rear of the vehicle, which is for the Park Tronics, which is basically the rear display has a fault, and whenever I put the car in reverse, instead of hearing the beeping noise as the vehicle would get close to something, I don't see anything. If you look in the rear view mirror, you'll know what I'm talking about. For all you SRT8 guys, there's a unit up on the ceiling of the roof, or on the roof of the vehicle on the side, that lights up every time you back up and you get close to something. The bars light up, so as you get closer you'll see it light up even more. So that wasn't working. There was no beeping noise coming, so I knew automatically it wasn't the sensors, because if there was a sensor issue, it would have showed that there was a sensor problem or a sensor code in the scanner that I used. So we didn't have any of that, so it was actually the rear display. So if you have an issue with your service assist system and you need to service it, you need to get a scanner and be able to look at the codes. So just go off of what everybody says. So check it out. So I checked it out, and it came out to the rear display. It wasn't the sensors in the rear bumper, so we have to fix that. So without much talking, let's get to fixing it. What's going on, you guys? So we're in the back right now. So I just removed the old one. This is the brand new one. I just plugged it in. It's hanging over here. So this is the old one. I don't know if you guys can tell, but it's got a crack on the plastic part. So it's cracked. I believe it's cracked. It may be cracked or not. I'm not sure. It looks to be a crack, but I'm not sure. So there's an internal fault. So I usually, well, not usually, but I typically will plug in my Autel Scanner, and I'll check the body module, which was the Park Tronics, and it showed that it had a rear display internal fault. So I tried clearing it. It didn't work. So when I cleared it, the code came back. So I looked online, and from the Grand Cherokee, the code associated with this issue relates to the rear display. So the B, if I remember correctly, I'm going to show you guys on the scanner, it's B2234. It pertains to this rear display, which basically lights up, and as you get closer to an object, it beeps. So this is the fault associated with that code. So I ordered one used from eBay. because the brand new one is like 150 bucks, so I got one for 30 bucks. So got one used from eBay. This is the old one. I'm not sure if it has a crack in the plastic or if this is how the plastic is, but there's an internal fault here. So I replaced it, plugged in the new one. You obviously have to take off these two pop rivets here, and then you just gotta pry it down using a tool like this, basically for the interior. And then I just pulled it down. Basically it just comes down this way. So removed it, and I basically got it out. And then when I plugged it in, I plugged my scanner in, I cleared the code, put the car in reverse, and everything was working because it was saying service park assist, service park system or something like that. So I fixed it. I'm going to show you guys on the scanner what the code is, but this is pretty much it. I'm going to bring the camera in so you guys can get a better look. Alright you guys, so here's the old piece. Oh, where the crack is. Crack is somewhere. I'm not sure. Is it on the other side? It might be on the other side, but there's a crack there. It looks to be a crack. I'm not sure if that's how it comes, but there's an internal fault on the old one. So this is my old one. So if you guys look up here, we have the new one hanging. So basically you gotta remove these two rivets here, one here and one here, and then the unit just basically pops down. You have let's see if I can see, it's got some clips in there that basically hook into, let's see if we could see here where it hooks into these grooves there. So you got to pull the tabs back. So if you look up here, it's yeah, the sun's in the way, that's why the sun's reflecting off this, that's why you guys are getting bad view of it. But it basically comes down, just comes down, but you gotta remove these rivets so you can get access to it and pull the tabs back with a you know, fork, like a little pick or a flathead screwdriver. Once this comes down, you can unplug it and plug it in, and then just same way it goes right back up. So that's how you guys do it. So this for me is no good, so let's go ahead and show you on the scanner what the code was. What's going on you guys? So as you guys can tell, we're here in the garage and we got the scanner pulled up. So I got the vehicle history showing for the vehicle, and as we can see here, it says B2234 is the code, and we have a description: Park Tronics read display 1 internal fault, which means that the unit we just replaced has an internal fault, which is basically that unit that displays the number of bars, which is to indicate how close you are to an object, and then eventually beeps. So that was the code that is associated with that part that we just changed. I was able to find it online for the regular Grand Cherokees, which shows that if you have this type of code, it's associated with that rear display above inside of the vehicle. So if you guys have issues like this one, or have an issue similar to the issue that I have, definitely check it out, and hopefully this fixes your problem, which definitely fixed mine. So clear the code, it's ready to go. So there you go guys. All right you guys, so before I leave you guys hanging, I wanted to show you real quick the tabs here. So that's how the tabs look. I know I didn't show it very well before because the sun was in this area hitting off of the insulation for the roof of the Jeep. So here you go, there's tabs there that need to be pulled back. So some are facing the opposite direction, some are facing the other way, so you got to pull them back somehow, and that's how you get them out. So here you go guys, there's a little look, so hopefully that helps. And then one more thing guys, before I install this back in, pull the tabs back, and then the unit just basically comes downwards. So you see it like this. Obviously this would be pushed up, so it would come down, and then you got to use a tool to kind of pull it down, but you got to make sure you pull the tabs first before you pull this down. Don't just yank this down, you're gonna break the tabs. So you gotta come here, pull those tabs back, 1 2 3, pull the tabs back, and then as you pull the one tab down, you'll be able to loosen it, and it'll come down, and then just basically unplug it from that little, press that in with a flathead or a pick or something, and then pop it out, and then put the new one back in, and you're ready to go guys. What's going on, you guys? It's your boy Evan. So it's a couple of days later and we got the SRT8 out. I figured I'd wash it, show you guys. I know you guys have seen it already plenty of times, me washing the Jeep, but it's a couple of days later. We're gonna go ahead and wash it. We already did the oil change. We did the bracket underneath the front bumper, the hood insulation, and the park assist in the back. So we fixed all that stuff. So today we're gonna go ahead and wash it. It's filthy. I drove it throughout the winter time, here and there. So we're gonna go ahead and clean it, give it a nice wash, and enjoy the day. So let's get to work. What's going on, you guys? So we ended up washing the Jeep. So washed it, cleaned all the dirt off of it, removed all the dirt from it because I had driven it basically throughout the winter, you know, here and there, and basically got it clean. So now it's ready for a clay bar. So I'm gonna go ahead and clay bar it because I rubbed my gloves or my hand through the paint. Although the paint is pretty smooth because I had clay barred it probably before the winter hit. Once before the winter hit, so I rubbed my hand through it, just glide it up on my paint. In certain areas there's a little bit of a roughness to it, so I'm going to go ahead and clay bar it. Once I clay bar it, I'm going to go ahead and spray it down with some Zaino Wax, similar to a ceramic coat, but it's not really, but it's called Zaino, so I'm going to spray with some Zaino high gloss wax or whatever the crap it's called. Spray it down, and then eventually one day when it's nice out, I'm gonna come out and actually polish it and give it a nice shine. So for now we're just not gonna go too crazy because it's starting to get dark, so we're gonna go ahead and we're just gonna clay bar it. I have the clay bar right there, as you guys can see. It's in the right hand mirror right there, side view mirror. We're gonna go ahead and use the clay bar mitt, remove any of the roughness in the paint, and then just throw some Zaino Wax on it and call it a day. So I'm gonna go ahead and continue the work. What's going on, you guys? So we ended up washing the Jeep. Came out mint. We clay barred it to remove all the dirt that was on it, on top of the surface of the clear coat. So everything's been done. Cleaned it really nice. It was needed. So we basically did, as a recap, oil change, the bracket, the hood installation, the park assist, and we washed it because it was needed. We drove it throughout the winter time. I drove it throughout the winter time here and there, so it was filthy. It was needed, and that's pretty much it. We did a lot of stuff to it. There's a lot more stuff coming for you guys, so stay tuned. And you know the vibes. I'm out.